Now, Gypsy Rose is not doing herself any favours by staying so centred in the public eye. She's done every big TV show in America. She's done every interview she possibly can. She's been on the red carpet. She's been fanning over Taylor Swift in loads of different articles, and she's been making a lot of money. Now, one of the reasons I think she's a con artist is because as we're seeing more interviews over the weeks, she's bringing out all these new facts that we've never heard before. This week I heard that her mum had put a voodoo hex on her. Then we heard that she'd actually tried to kill her mum before. She'd picked up a handgun when her mum tried to stop her from leaving the house, and she'd emptied out all these bullets and fired them into her mum before realising it was a BB gun. And to me personally, I think she's just trying to keep the media on tenterhooks so she continues to get more interviews. Now, it's quite clear to see that Gypsy Rose had a lot more to do with her mum's killing than she says she did. Not only did she provide Nicholas Godejohn with the knife, which she went out and bought herself from the local shop away from her mother's eyes, she managed to do that. She managed to have that shopping trip, so she could have left at any time. She also says that Nicholas Godejohn did the whole thing and she never once saw her mother's body. Now, Godejohn, on the other side of things, completely admits to what he did and why he did it. He also says he only stabbed Dee Dee 4 times, but Dee Dee was stabbed 17 times, so who stabbed her the rest of those times? I would argue, if what Gypsy is saying now is true, and at one time she tried to shoot her mother to death, that she has the rage to do so, and she probably did stab her mother as well. So we know that Gypsy planned the murder. She actually, over months, talked Nicholas Godejohn into committing this murder for her. She bought the gloves for him, she bought the knife, she paid for his bus ticket to come to Missouri to carry out the crime. She waited for him with the gloves and knife in her hand and then just placed her hand over her ears apparently and missed the whole event. I don't believe that. Now, one of Gypsy Rose's doctors actually said that it was clear to him that because she had a lot of muscle tone in her extremities, that she was using her legs a lot more than she's ever confessed to. And it is quite likely that as soon as they closed that door at home, she was walking and she knew that the wheelchair was a scam. There's also the conflicting point of Gypsy saying the reason that she got Nicholas to commit this crime for her is because of medical abuse. But she told the police when she was arrested that she still thought she was ill. So where was the medical abuse? Because you didn't know that was going on at that stage. So obviously your real motive for the crime is what I always thought it was the fact that you wanted to be with the boyfriend and your mum was in the way. We also have to bear in mind that if Gypsy had a cell phone which she was using to peruse several dating sites, talk to Nicholas Godejohn and other men as well that she planned to meet in the past, that she had access to a phone to call for help if she felt like her mum was being abusive, but she never did. My greatest bugbear with this whole case is Nicholas Godejohn. He is the forgotten victim in this. And he is a murderer, don't get me wrong, and he is in prison where he belongs. But he actually has autism, he has learning difficulties, and he had a troubled childhood. So why is it that he gets life in prison and is never allowed out, yet Gypsy only got 10 years? And surely, if Gypsy knew all of these things about Nicholas Godejohn, which she did, she knew all about his struggles, then she took advantage of him just like her mum took advantage of her. Now, when I first came out, even the day where Gypsy was released, and I had these thoughts and I kept saying, well, I just don't see her to be as innocent as what she's making out, people had a real problem with that, and so many people just fanning over it. It was all that slay movement and everything else. But I think the longer Gypsy's been out and the more interviews she's done and the more she thrust herself into the limelight, instead of doing all the things that she said she was going to do, like get all this awareness from children's syndrome and support these other children, I really do think that she is showing the real her to everybody. And unfortunately, I think this will continue for some time until the press and everyone else gets bored. Another worrying thought to me is if she is willing to make up all of these news stories about shooting her mum and the voodoo hex and all these other stuff that have just come from nowhere. She keeps telling people how addicted to painkillers she was in prison and, she was such a badass in there. I just worry about when the media attention stops, which it will, she'll have 5 minutes of fame. Well, how far will she go then? We know that her grandmother had put her mum through the same thing that Gypsy's mum put Gypsy through, so it seems to be something that's happening in that family. So I'd be very worried. And just a little disclaimer at the end, because I know we'll get hateful comments. These are my views only, and I'm allowed to have them.